Hello and welcome to my channel that I just started. My name is Mandy and I've decided to do something difficult, which is to learn to get better at painting and to talk about this and to upload it all to YouTube. So I'll tell you why in a minute. The painting I'm working on in this video is a copy of Pallas Athene by Rembrandt. This is my second ever oil painting, so I am figuring things out with the help of YouTube videos, of course. I love this painting and I've done different versions of it over the years. I've done a pencil drawing in a sketchbook. I've done a large pencil drawing on a wall in my room as a student. I've done an acrylic painting in black and white. I'm somehow drawn to this image. And this time I'm doing it in oil for the first time and with a limited color palette. So, starting a YouTube channel, why would I do such a thing? I can probably fill a lot of videos with the why, and I probably will over time. But for now, let me take you back to 2019 with the thought that it all started with. At the time, I was 34. I worked as a programmer in Sydney, Australia, where I live. And I'd been drawing since I was little. Well, everybody draws when they're little, but I kept doing it, and I really got into it when I was about 13. But it's always been a hobby while I was busy having what I'm going to call a normal and acceptable life. You know, getting progressively better jobs, being in relationships, seeing friends, doing sports, and occasionally drawing when I had the energy. I also didn't have any kids, and I traveled a lot. And I moved from Netherlands to Australia, so I have so far had a pretty comfortable and amazing life. But you can have a life like that and still feel like something's missing. And I think the problem was that I was missing from it. The socially awkward person who likes to draw things and read books that were written a long time ago and think about existential questions, and who secretly has lots of eccentric views on things. I learned by the time I was a teenager that that person didn't do so well out among other people. And I kept her alive by writing in my diary, which has always been a place where I've been able to be me, the real unfiltered weird me. And the outside world got an edited version. It seemed like a good idea at the time, as I was very shy and very self-conscious. But after many years, I even stopped writing in my diary. And that's when I started to feel very, very uncomfortable. If I never did anything I thought of myself that I felt an urge to do, if I always stopped doing things when I felt it was becoming too visible or people might have opinions about it, then who was it inhabiting my body and living my life? I only seemed to do things if they'd be easily approved or if no one could comment on them. And I noticed I would be a slightly different version of myself depending on who I was with, so as not to say or do anything that they might think badly of. And it turns out that the decision I made long ago to keep my real self private was a bad idea after all. And so at 34, I asked myself the question, what would I do if it wasn't for approval? What does Mandy like and dislike? Do I even know how to tell what I want and what I don't want? Being an action-oriented sort of person, I then decided that in order to find out, I had to do things and make radical changes. It led me to end a relationship of 9 years and then almost immediately start another one, and to be promoted into a series of increasingly complicated management jobs with no experience, where I was way out of my depth, and to spend the COVID years glued to my screen working instead of taking the opportunity to slow down and reflect. And to realize that the new relationship wasn't going well either and have that come to an end. So, in other words, I did a lot of things that taught me something about what I didn't want to do with my life. Now it's 5 years later and I'm in a very happy place. I'm happy in love, I'm no longer in that management job, and I feel for the first time in many years calm and content. Now I feel ready to take a different route to becoming myself. And I've come to the conclusion that in order to do that, I have to do the scariest thing I can imagine, which is to talk about what's on my mind and then to put it on YouTube. I need to do the thing that I've always worked to avoid, which is to have people see me and have their opinions and then to learn to be okay with that. The thing with a YouTube video is that, at least in theory, anyone can watch it, and you can't do one version for somebody and make it so that they like it, and then do a different version for someone else to make it so that they will approve of it. So I won't be able to wriggle out of being myself. Now, in the last week, I've tried to record myself, and I'm fine filming myself drawing and painting, where you can see maybe a little bit of me. But I was amazed at how difficult it was to speak to the camera. It's like standing on a stage with no idea who's in the audience, and then having to justify why you even open your mouth to say anything at all. And I was amazed at how quickly all sorts of negative thoughts came up. They told me I look weird and asymmetrical, and my voice is awful to listen to, and I haven't got anything to say anyway, and I have a funny accent. So I went back to safety, and I filmed myself working on artwork some more. And then after a while, I remembered that this is exactly why I had to do it. I can't live the rest of my life just saying what people want to hear. What I want is to spend more time doing art, and to learn to get better at expressing myself through art, and most importantly, to learn to be okay being myself in front of other people. I've called my channel The Persistence of Mandy. It's a pun on a famous painting by Salvador Dali called The Persistence of Memory, and I thought it was the right title because I hope that by persisting in doing this, by making more art and by putting these videos up, I can fully become, for everyone to see, the person I really am. And I might get negative reactions, and that's okay, because at least I can stop worrying about getting negative reactions, because it's already happened and I can get used to it. And maybe somebody watches this and they think, hey, that's sort of how I feel, and I might find out I'm not the only one, and maybe they'll feel a bit better. Or maybe nobody watches this at all. That's possible too. But no matter what the case is, it's gonna help me. I know it will. And so if you are watching this, thank you very much. And till the next one.